What's up, Dragon Brood? So today, we're taking another step back a little bit. Not in a bad way, but I think there's always something there that we have lingering around since the beginning of the season that we don't really showcase or feature or get around to playing. And this time, it's Selesnya Counters. This is always a popular deck when we put it up. We did do the Abzan Counters list, I believe, earlier in the season, but I didn't just do straight up Selesnya. And there's actually some pretty good tools here that I wasn't playing in that list that makes sense to play here. So we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what that looks like. And is it playable? Is it good? I don't know, but at least has all the right parts. I know that much. So let's go take a look at the Selesnya Counters list. Okay, so one of the fun things about this version of it is that we are playing a lot of old standbys that we already know. The other thing is there's a fair amount of cards in this list that are actually commons and uncommons, which can make it very playable, which is nice. And the cards that are rare seem to be cards that you're playing in other lists already. So if you've been playing for a little bit, you probably have all the cards for this, which is really, really nice. But let's start at the top with the Star Pupil. This is one of those ones that I kind of want to get away from, but we didn't have enough quality 1-mana drops in this deck anyway initially, and this actually opens that up a little bit and makes it feel a little bit better. Now, there's a lot of times it's going to die and you don't get to put counters on anything, but you know what? It's fine. I think it's totally good, and there's a lot of times you can put enough counters on it that your opponent kind of ends up in a bad spot if they kill it or they don't. So that's actually really good. Playing Snakeskin Veil because, well, it puts a counter on a thing and it keeps your stuff from dying, which is awesome. Most commonly, though, you're going to see us probably just blank adventure cards with it, right? Namely, when you're talking about Bone Crusher's Stomp or the Petty Theft on Brazen Borrower. Because then your thing becomes an illegal target and then the card just goes away. So it's usually the best thing on it. But, you know, even just dodging some spot removal against the ultimatum decks is also very good. We have a Swarm Shambler. This is the other good 1-mana creature. And, you know, anytime your stuff gets targeted with counters on it, you get 1/1s. And that sounds like an irrelevant ability, but there's going to be a lot of times if you have 2 of these out that it becomes a priority almost for your opponent to be able to kill those. Otherwise, everything they're dealing with is just producing more creatures. 1 feet of resistance because it's another way to protect our stuff, giving things protection from a color, but it also puts a +1/+1, so I don't mind it being here. Luminarch Aspirant, we talk about it all the time. If you're playing a white deck, it's one of the best white creatures. So, of course, we got to go with it. 1 Shajiri Shelter, just as a bonus land, but also lets us protect our creatures, which is pretty good. A couple of Gnarlid Colony. This is one I'd kind of stray away from, but because we're in a format where there could be a bunch of little small, you know, weenie creatures, there could be Pest in the Witherbloom decks, things like that, being able to trample over those is actually pretty good. In a lot of formats, I would probably do without the Gnarlid Colony, but in the current standard format, or especially more accurately the standard ladder on Arena, I would go ahead and consider playing this. Then we have Conclave Mentor. You know, you put counters or something, you get a bonus counter. Sparring Regiment. I think this is one that a lot of people overlook, but it does just put a counter every turn, and it does give you the flexibility of going to your sideboard and finding something that can help you out of a problematic situation. So definitely want to play some of these. Then I am back to playing 2 Invigorating Surge just as a odd finisher. It can also be a way to protect a creature, you know, double your counters from 2 to 4. Actually, I guess technically doubles from 2, you put 1 and then double it to 6. So that can really protect something from a lot of things. So we're big on that. Honestly, one of the big uses of this card is it actually can protect a creature from getting beat down by something like an Embercleave. Honestly, if you have something with 3 or 4 counters on it, now you make that thing a minimum of a 9/9 or 8/8, you know, something like that. Maybe even a 10/10. Well, now it's a lot harder for those creatures to punch through, and you can start turning things around. Then we have 3 Basri's Lieutenant. Could possibly be 4, to be honest. But every time you have a creature with a counter on it that dies, you get a 2/2. It's protection from multicolor, which is great because it stops a lot of things from happening, which we appreciate. There's also Semester's End, which is very cool. This is one that we're trying out mostly as a defense card to the sweepers. So if your opponent has a Doomscar, your opponent has Extinction Event, you know, any of that type of stuff, it allows you to move your board, bring them back. They all at least come back with a counter. So yes, you may lose some counters from what was out there, but otherwise you would have lost the creatures entirely. And when they come back, they at least each have 1 counter on them. Obviously, that doesn't work for tokens because when tokens go away, they just disappear. But that's fine. I think it's still at least something we should at least consider. And also randomly, you can just use it during your opponent's end step. If you have something like a couple of Conclave Mentors, the creatures come back, they all get extra counters, and then maybe that's enough to kill your opponent the next turn. fun other things you could do too is like you attack, your things are tapped out, your opponent attacks, then maybe it's possible, okay, before you get to their end step, boom, you reset your board. Now you can attack with those creatures next turn. Maybe your opponent doesn't see it coming. Playing 3 Stone Cold Serpent, possibly could be 4, truthfully, but mostly because we're playing 2 Wildwood Scourge. And we'll see. I don't know if I still want Wildwood Scourge in the list, but we can talk about it later. Lands, we have 6 plains, 7 forests, 4 Branch Off Pathway, 4 Fabled Passage. So that's 8, 15. You're only looking really at 21, 22 lands when you're talking about having that Shadiri Shelter. However, a lot of our stuff is 1 and 2 mana. So we'll see how that works out. But as always, we're going to go hop into some games and then catch up with me on the other side of the games in this video. We're going to talk about updates we would make to this after playing it for a bit. And we have a card spotlight for you, as usual. Alright, so I have no idea if this is going to be any good against Rogues here at all. Thanks for the like there, Greg. I mean, our first couple of turns are sort of mapped out, but like, I don't know. Opponent's coming in with Wind Robber. I don't know what that means. If it means they think they have something or they don't have something. I'm just going to put this on the Aspirant. I'm going to attack. If they want to trade for a Shambler, I'm fine with it. Okay, so their hand must be pretty weak because they're willing to trade with the Shambler. Either that or they're trying to set up to kill a Luminarch Aspirant and they didn't want to give us a 1/1. Which we're okay with because we have more. I mean, if their hand is just Wind Robber and a couple of removal, then like, great. That's actually a best case scenario. Alright, so here we're going to do this for 2. I'm not a huge fan of Wildwood Scourge. I know every time we build this, people really want to go nuts with it, but I decided to put a couple in here. I haven't played with it in a little while, and I think because we have so many random things with counters, it could be relevant, so we'll see. Ooh, of one mind. Good for them. Too bad this thing doesn't trample. Oh, another of one mind. Boo. We did not want to see that. That sucks. That sucks a lot for us. So then now it becomes, do we just want to play Bowser's Lieutenant and put a counter on it? I think we do. Well, do we? I mean, at some point, they're going to block the Wildwood Scourge once this has Death Touch anyway, I would think. And we still kind of want to be able to kick the Gnarlid at some point. Though, that does just give everything trample when we're ready. So let's just go ahead and do this. And we'll grow the Wildwood Scourge, attack for 3. I mean, we're still winning the damage race. If the opponent kills one of our creatures, we'll get a 1/1 if this has Death Touch. I mean, we'll get a 2/2. So it's not that bad. Yeah, Greg, the house thing has actually been eating up a lot of time. Matter of fact, you'll probably can't even see it on camera, but I am destroyed today. I have like like if you could see my arm, it looks like I was in a fight. like I just ran through a bunch of brambles or something. I got tore up today. Opponent, if you attack, I won't block. I can promise you that. I mean, we still have a lot of cards. We're at 40 cards. 39 because we're going to draw one. So, like, this isn't so bad. I'm kind of okay with it here. Let's see. If we do this, does the opponent counter? They do not counter. Okay, well, I'm just going to put a counter on my Luminarch Aspirant. And then we're going to kill the Wildwood Scourge. I feel like they have a removal card in hand. That sucks. Okay. We're just going to attack with this. If they want to trade, they trade. Soaring Thought Thief. Alright, that doesn't really change much. Situation's still largely the same. Yeah, okay. It's always weird when the opponents save up to make a play like that. And I'm kind of just like, sure? Yeah, I'm like, okay, like what just happened? Like, all right, you're fine, I guess. All right, they're down to 2 cards, though, 2 possibly relevant cards. Though they're not playing Lurrus as a companion, which means they probably have either Lurrus or Zerasan as an actual card in the deck, so We could already be a bit too far behind, depending. The only thing maybe we could do here is play the Gnarlid Colony. The problem is I think their hand is at least 2 counters now. And I don't think we can do much with that, which feels kind of bad. Yeah, the fact that they're attacking says they have either more Soaring Thought Thieves or... Well, no, because if they had a Thought Thief, they would just play it first. So they don't have that. It has to be kill cards or counters. Because nothing else makes sense there. Alright, we're at 28 cards. Or it could just be... Man, I don't know. Maybe it's end of the story. That would sort of make sense too. That's a narrative I could get behind. I guess we go ahead. If it's a counter, it's a counter. Oh, nope, they're looking for one. Really? Really? What gives? I mean, I guess we do this. Put the counter here since we're just attacking with all of that. I don't know. Flash in, dudes. I mean, I guess they could have another Thieves Guild Enforcer. No? Weird. What is their hand? What? I guess it's just land. Okay, Cling to Dust, sure. Alright, I guess we're going to get a win against Rogues. I mean, I can't fathom what the rest of their... Because those don't block these, so they're going to have to chump block with the crab. But, like, if they spend their mana... Actually, no, they don't have any outs, right? Yeah, they're just dead. Right? I mean, we attempt this. I'm not even going to kick it, actually. Yeah, okay. Though I'm not sure the order I want to play these. If I want to do, like... Pupil, leave mana open for Snakeskin Veil, or Pupil into a Stone's Coil Serpent. I feel like I'm going to do this on the Stone Coil and I'm going to hate myself later. I'm not. I'm going to attack for 1. And then I'm just going to play another Star Pupil. And hope to draw land. So you're trying to make the switch to Minota, but your red-white deck is more geared as a Magecraft. Yeah, those are completely different. So you don't want to try to play those. That's completely different types of decks. Alright. Well, now that we know it's Rogues, or maybe Mono Black's just playing Thieves Guild Enforcer. Weird. I was gonna say, if you attack, I won't block. Oh, that's a thing. Oh, why no mana? Alright, I guess we attack. They're not blocking. Okay. But I guess I'm just gonna do this. If they want to just Heartless Act, take the counters off of it, so be it. I can live with that. Nope, it's just another Thieves Guild Enforcer. Which means it's probably an additional Thieves Guild Enforcer. Nope. Sometimes I see people keep the triple Enforcer hand, so I was not going to be surprised if they had it there. Though now if they kill a card... Oh, they didn't have it, so we won anyway. Okay, that was weird. I think my assessment may potentially be wrong of the blue-white deck. I'm basing it on the fact that I see at least what feels like 2 per day when I'm playing on the ladder, and they always just peter out, don't do anything, and I beat them with even what I would consider my worst decks. So, I don't really know. What do we do with this hand if we keep it? We like turn 1 Stone Coil Serpent, turn 2 Gnarlid, turn 3 Spark. I mean, I guess we keep it. It's just kind of lame. Like, all right, that makes things a lot better. Yeah, Magecraft can go big if it hits, for sure. Alright, opponent, what you got? You're gonna kill my Stone Cold Serpent. Alright, well, we'll just see if you have another one. If you do, you do. If it's just a Heartless Act, we're good. If it's an Eliminate, we're bad. Nope, it's a Blood Chief's Thirst. That's bad. Alright, let's try again. End the turn. Now we have a Snakeskin Veil up, so we have a little bit of help. Okay, so this is just mono black control. Alright, good to know. So we're going to have to be really careful since the opponent has sweepers. Invigorating Surge could be good later. I don't want to play Gnarlid yet, because if the opponent's answer is going to be like an extinction event, we don't want to give them 2 creatures. Sort of feel like I want Containment Breach. But part of me also wants to take Mascot Exhibition since we're already at 4 lands. Do we just take Reduce to whatever, like in case they get Ugin? That's probably smarter. I'll just hate myself for it later. I mean, assuming they'll block, they'll draw a card. Yep. Yeah, Sparring Regiment's a great card. Also, I think people forget with Learn, there's a really cool thing that if there's not a card you want out of those, you can't just discard a card to draw a card. Like, that is some of the subtext on Learn there. And I think people forget that sometimes. Alright, opponent, what you got? We're getting Extinction Event for our lowly 4/4. I say lowly. 4 is actually pretty big. Which is going to be 5. It's going to be 6, actually, if they don't do something. Yep, that makes sense. Respect. We actually could have almost killed the opponent with them being at 20, right? Because we could have put another counter on and doubled it. So it went from... Would have had 3 counters on... had 4 counters on it. 3. So it would have went to 4, went to 5. We would have made it 6. We'd have doubled it. Would have been 12, 13. Man, they'd have been close. Alright, so we're going to Stone Cold Serpent for 3. Alright. So we start again. The other good news is, too, is if you have Stone Cold Serpents and they get an Ugin, doesn't kill a Stone Cold Serpent. They have to shoot it. Which they're a mana away from being able to cast an Ugin. But we do have some Ugin protection, so we only have to get through 1 turn. Ooh, Turgid. Okay, I guess I could have destroyed that. That would have been nice. I could have taken that Containment Breach, but I didn't. I opted not to. We'll lose 3 life. This also makes me feel like they don't have an Ugin, because then they would just destroy their own Lantern, which doesn't seem like something they would want to do. I'm going to go ahead and run this out there in case they have any ideas. Nope, looks like they don't have any instant speed removal. Good to know. Good to know. How badly do I want to get rid of the Lantern? Because they can activate it twice. I don't know if I care, though. That's not like... Alright. That's such a weird thing that, like, that Lantern's super powerful, but... I think I want the mana up to protect our creatures here. Because now, even an Extinction Event is... They could have, like... Ooh. I was going to say Shadow's Verdict. Do I care about protecting that? Man, I don't think we do. I think we're in on just protecting the Stone Cold Serpent. Sure. Actually, I kind of want them to spend the 3, or spend their mana to activate the Lantern again here. So I could use the Invigorate during their end step. Great, actually. Actually, wait a minute. Can we kill the opponent here? Hold on. This would go up. This would be 5. Oh, it'd only be 10. Oh, actually, okay. We would add 1, which would make it 5. This would add 1 is 6. So that's 12. We could make this 13, 14. Dang, no matter how we do it, it's not quite enough. Resolve. I think I'm just going to discard a card here. This sucks. Alright. Guess don't have much choice. Feel like we're going to lose it anyway. I'm just trying to debate if I want to use the Surge here and then use this maybe during their upkeep. This makes that a 10. I mean, if I draw another one, that would be lethal. Ugh. Alright. I think I have to. Kind of sucks, just to be efficient on my mana. We get another Shambler. Doesn't particularly help. Alright, we'll put a stop during their upkeep. We'll go ahead and play a Swarm Shambler. So if they do target the Stone Cold Serpent, we get at least 3 damage next turn on our attack step. Alright, during their upkeep, we're going to go ahead and try to protect the Stone Cold Serpent. We'll see if it's enough. I mean, there's nothing we can really do about it. Because we're going to lose the Snakeskin Veil either way. You know? I mean, the opponent could draw cards here. But then they risk dying. Well, no, they can't do that because they just die. Because then they'll die to the Swarm Shambler. Alright, so that mostly worked. I mean, they could draw removal here still. Now we just have Gnarlid, so that's fine. I mean, if they found an instant speed removal, though. But it has to not be Heartless Act. So the only thing, maybe Eliminate, if they're playing that. I think that's the only thing they could find here. Because even if it's a thing that makes us sacrifice a creature, like, we're just going to sacrifice Swarm Shambler since that costs more than the Stone Cold Serpent. Professor Onyx. Okay. That's just going to make me sacrifice. Yeah.
Well, darn.
Oh, why? That was just a turn late. Oh, damn it. Oh, that had so much potential. Oh, my goodness. Oh, where was that? Oh, that could have been so good. Oh. Ah. Damn it. Oh, now this is tough, right? Because the opponent's only at 5. Like, sadly, we still have to go kill Professor Onyx, I think. Ugh. Man, I can only get in for 3, so that's not enough here.
Great. So much for a new start.
All right. Okay, we lose our graveyard. That's fine. Now, the good news here is we can attack for exactly 5 next turn. Because we can add a counter during their end step. We can attack. This untaps the creature. We can add another one. So, it's exactly 5. So, that's kind of good. Resolve. We'll lose 3 life. Whatever. If you're playing a drain effect, you get me. If they target the Swarm Shambler, then we can actually remove it. We'll also get a 1/1. Then it'll come back with the counter. Ooh, Rankle. Huh. How do we feel about old Rankle? Okay. So they attack. I guess assuming they're going to get to make us sacrifice a thing. So we have to use this, right? It'll come back as a 2/2. We can attack as a 3/3, 4/4. So I have to find something that can put a counter on it. I mean, I guess I could. I guess I could have waited till they activated. I think that's how that works. I was a little quick on the trigger there. Because they would hit, stack all their things, and then I should be able to have responded there. So that's a little bad on my part. Oh. Oh, that's so good. Don't let them have drawn a removal card, please. Please, no. If they haven't, that's game. Because this is going to double the counters on the Swarm Shambler. Boo. Boo. All right, they win. And that's actually my fault, truthfully. I should have waited, because I could have waited till Rankle attacked. And then... Alright, we're going to keep. I think I'm going to go with Swarm Shambler first. Into Conclave Mentor and hope for the best. Not really sure what to do after that. I'd almost like to draw a land and a Snakeskin Veil. That feels like asking for a lot. Alright, what you gonna do, yo Yorion? Oh, that changes things a little bit now, doesn't it? Ooh, or does it? Does it? Because I'm kind of like, do we Conclave Mentor first? Because then it forces the opponent to have to remove something and they don't get to play their, like, Wolf Willow Haven. So yeah, I am going to do that, actually. And then there's a chance we just get, like, Sparring Regiment or something next turn. So they're going to Wolf Willow Haven anyway here. Yep. Okay. I really wanted to play Sparring Regiment here. I am not happy about this outcome. Alright, so here's our other option. We can play Swarm Shambler Pupil. Then if they Extinction Event for odd, we can Luminarch Aspirant to attack with the Conclave Mentor. If they don't have either, then I guess we're fine? I don't love it, though. We needed a land there real bad. We needed a land really bad. Because it would have been nicer to play the Sparring Regimen, attack for, like, whatever that meant, 4 or 5, and then have a handful of stuff we could play after whatever removal or sweeper. Oh, they don't even have black mana at all yet. Well, that's a surprise / treat. Well, now I'm just kind of thinking, like, what removal card do they have? Or what counter? 2, 4, 6, 7. But it has to be something that can only cast with 1 blue, so... If it's Test of Talents, which all of them are playing, it does nothing to this. If it's a negate, that sucks for us, but whatever. It's probably just an Omen of the Seas. Oh, it actually was a negate. Huh, I chose poorly. Ah, well. Alright, let's see if they find the mana they need. I'm assuming it's black mana. They bought them both. Well, I guess if they counter a Luminarch Aspirant, we're dead. Oh, they're dead now. Because then Aspirin, it's 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, Aspirin's going to make it Xaxes. Because it will add 2 counters. And that'll do it. I mean, we could if we wanted to gamble with just like keep that Swarm Shambler alive. But I don't think that's the type of Magic we're trying to play. We will keep this. I will scrap. Man, with the way we've been having trouble drawing land. Alright, I'm going to give up the Scourge. And I know I'm going to draw a land right as the first card. Watch this. I know what's going to happen. Oh, it actually didn't. I am impressed. I was wrong. Yeah, I think a lot of people are excited for the D&D set. Even if they're not even looking forward to the cards. I think just D&D as a flavor pitch is a big deal for a lot of people. What do we do here? I feel like we do this just to threaten the opponent. They're not going to actually block. But I was thinking, like, if they have an apparition, we didn't necessarily want to run out the Conclave Mentor immediately. But that may not be what they're doing. This might be like mono-white Magecraft or something. It is. Look at that. I was right. My suspicions were correct. And they're saving mana to try to get us. Man, why was one of these not a forest? Alright, opponent. If that's how you want to play, let's do it. I'm just going to make this thing gigantic and attack. Do what you will. I'm hoping to draw another land next turn. So we can play Sparring Regiment and have a Snakeskin Veil backup. Okay. Gonna spend another card? No, just weird choice, but we're just blocking. Alright. Okay, that's a good one. That'll get you a sizable body. And they'll likely get a blocker, because they'll have a spell they can cast here. Alright, put some counters on a thing. Sounds good. Yep. All about it. Get in there for 7. I ain't even blocking. Ain't about that life. Alright. Let's do this. We will get... probably reduced to memory, right? Just turn the opponent's creature into a 3/2? That seems smarter. Now what do we do with our counters? Because whatever we put is 2. So we could make the Conclave Mentor a 6. We can make Luminarch Aspirant a 5. By making the Aspirant a 5, unfortunately they could block, like double block, and then like we only kill the Lumimancer, but maybe that's still okay. If we make this a 6, they have to block with everything, and we kill Lumimancer. Alright. I think that's what we're going to do. Mostly because we have a Snakeskin Veil in our hand. The opponent doesn't know that, obviously. Let's attack. Attack. Put the counters here. Alright, they're going to jump and take. Alright. Now, we do have to be aware. We know that they're playing the thing that gives stuff flying. So, we have to be cognizant that that exists. Especially now, because there's a Mavinda. Okay. We may have to get lucky with this Invigorating Surge. Oh, that's fine. Please attack with that. Bring it. Bring it. They might not want to, because they might be afraid we're going to double block. Even though I wouldn't have to. Hey, Kevin. Good evening to you as well from Virginia. Is this a trap, everybody? Is it a tarp? It might be. I feel like we have to double block. I hate that, but I feel like that's the answer. Just because if they have a spell, we got to make them play it, and then we play ours. Okay. They didn't have it, and they put them in the wrong order to be able to kill the aspirant. We got the best of everything out of that. That was so good. We're going to go ahead and get rid of this Mavinda as well. They can have a 3-2. We don't really care about that. And then we'll put counters on... Uh-oh. Why are they doing that? Does that let them draw a card? Oh, let you play it till end of turn. Smart. Smart. Wait, is that only as long as Mavinda's in play? Huh. Alright, I guess they could have waited. Okay, so how do we want to do this? We know they're likely going to come after our Conclave Mentor next turn. So, we put counters on Luminarch Aspirant. Turn that into a 3. Attack with everything. Untap the Aspirant. And then let the opponent choose how they wish to block. And that's only 5, 9. We could double that to 10, 11. Alright, not enough. Though, if most of their turn is going to be spent playing a Reduced to Memory, I think we're going to win because of the Surge in this next turn. I don't think they're going to have enough for outs. Yeah, that's not going to do it. They'll be able to chump block for the turn, but that's fine. Because they're going to have to give us a body with the Conclave Mentors going away. So yeah, that's fine. I could have protected it, but I think we're going to be good either way. Well, then this happens. What you going to do? Two, 3. I mean, they're all going to have to chump block, right? We'll turn this into a 5, so nothing can get through safely. Like, everything's lethal, so they all have to be blocked. Alright. Sure. Save a token. Sounds great. Pretty sure the opponent's dead skis. Yeah, that's not going to do much. I mean, the best they can do is remove a creature, I think. Well, they have 5 mana. But I think it's either exile a thing and I draw a card. That would at least let them... see, I would have exiled something. Granted, I still have Snakeskin Veil, and they don't know that, but... Yeah, drawing a card, unless it's just another body to chump block, that's not going to do it. Okay, they did keep 2 on top. So, I mean, if this is a thing... Suspense. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. What does that do? You're going to get to pump it twice? Alright, I mean, we're at 13s. Yeah, I was like, what does that do? Alright, so the deck still plays pretty consistently, and it's very similar to what we expected. And the new cards actually really did come into play, so I'm actually really happy about that. And Semester's End was a really big threat for our opponent, so all around, I do like what this deck's doing. I will say this, though. Still not a fan of the Wildwood Scourge. If I had my way, I would probably cut both of the Scourge, and I would play one additional land, probably a Plains, and maybe another Stonecoil Serpent. It would be a Stonecoil Serpent or another Basri's Lieutenant. Either or. Those would have to be in the list, I think. I think I'm adding a land and probably another Stonecoil Serpent, just because it dodges some removal and it can block some flyers and does a few extra things. But really, I just don't think the Wildwood Scourge are where we're wanting to be, right? We have a lot of situations where we don't even want to tap all of our mana into it because we want to still leave up like Snakeskin Veil or something to protect our creatures, or we want to use mana to pump up a Swarm Shambler. Like, there's just different things going on that just don't leave us the opportunity to really maximize the Wildwood Scourge to begin with, or we do, and then it just dies to all the removal cards, except for maybe Heartless Act. But even then, unless you do it for more than like 3 initially, it still dies to like Heartless Act, right? So it's just not the card we're looking for in a lot of cases. So not, I mean, I get what people like, hey, we can turn it into a 2020 or whatever, like sure, but that takes several turns to get to that point. And even then, the way we have the deck built, the only thing that really can take advantage of it would be like Gnarlid Colony. And without that, just having a big Wildwood Scourge doesn't really do anything. So for that reason, I'm cutting it, and you probably won't see it in the final list. Now, for today's card spotlight, we're going to talk about Shardless Agent. This is a card that really hung around at about the $1-2 value mark for a long time, as it wasn't really showing up in decks. However, with all the stuff we've now seen for Modern Horizons 2, this thing that got reprinted, I believe, in Eternal Masters, and like another reprint before that, now actually is back up to like the $10 mark. And I get it, right? We saw a lot of things that could work with Cascade. We saw a lot of things that have Suspend that you could play for free. So cascading even under 3 is fine. And we talked about that with like the Crashing Rhinos or Crasher Rhinos, whatever that card is, the Rhinos card that makes it do 4/4 Rhinos, you know, and some of the other stuff a couple days ago, right? And this kind of fits in that same thing because Cascade now again, nobody knows if this is going to stay as a real deck. We don't know what it's going to look like. But the idea is there that people are now chasing these cards down and they want to build a good Cascade deck, and this could be one of the key cards. Now, it is just a 3-mana 2/2. Sure, that's not a whole lot, but the fact that it lets you cascade into something else, you're getting 2 cards minimum, maybe more, you know, if you're talking about something like 2 Rhinos, you know, for 3 mana. It's kind of hard to really complain about that. So yeah, if you're thinking about playing the deck, this is one of the ones you probably want to get now, or just wait and see if the deck's any good. But the problem is, if it's good, you're going to be paying even more later. If you have them and you don't care about Cascade, well, maybe you can trade it and get some boosters of the new set. Don't forget, if you want today's deck list, it will be down in the description below. And as always, I got to tell you, check the description because we have links for so many things, especially if you want to come by and check out either of our streams live, participate, contribute, you know, whatever, or just come by the Discord and, you know, get help with decks or just chit chat, meet other cool Magic people. There's a lot. A bunch of us are hanging out in there now. And as always, don't forget, I do also have links for TCGPlayer and Amazon that if you shop through either of those links, I will get a small 1 to 3% kickback, and you'll be helping the channel out without spending any extra money. Just literally click the link, shop like you would normally shop on the site, and you're helping me out. It's really that easy. And finally, if you haven't, I gotta ask, why not? Why have you not done this? It's so simple, just to right below the video, click the like button, hit the subscribe button, and then hit that little bell next to it, because that lets me know you appreciate what I'm doing. It helps the deck get seen by a lot of people, and it lets you be notified every time I have a... But that's all I have for you for now. We'll see you next time.